Testing, testing, audio check, 1, 2, 3.
Test.
Lovely, thank you very much. Well, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Motive Racing YouTube channel. We're here for the penultimate round of the LMP2 League here on Project Cars 2 on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. The night when we could be seeing the title wrapped up with a round to spare. Obviously, Champ leads the title race by 57 points to his big and old rival Richie. So it could be the night when we see it put to bed once and for all, or is Richie gonna just spark up another twist in this tale? And obviously, if Richie does manage to win any either of the races, or if he manages to finish second to Champ in both races, if Champ were to win, he would also keep the title going for another round. But let's see what Champ can do here in his final run of the session. Does he go on pole position? He doesn't. He will get one more lap in though, so we're going to have to sit tight and wait for another 3.5 minutes for the conclusion of this session, as Champ has started another lap here. But Richie's currently sat on provisional pole, looking to try and keep this one going for at least one more round in this season. But it's going to need a miracle for this season if he is going to take the title. I think Champ's pretty much got one hand on the trophy already, but never say never. You can never count out the impossible. But Richie up to, well, you can count out the impossible actually. That's what literally the definition of impossible. But you can't rule out the unlikely until it is impossible. But Richie, JM Grill and Xmart all in the pits. Nicky's still out there. He's just coming through the final part of the lap at the moment. Stage GT's in the pits. Certainly not going to make any pre-improvements from there. We've got Champ coming through the middle part. He's just coming down the long straight, the Mulsanne straight. We've got Richie, no, sorry, not Richie, Ricky, sorry, I'm so sorry. Whenever these two are out on the track together, I constantly get confused between the two of them, because I'm so used to seeing the name Rick, and you know, instantly my brain says Richie, and obviously that is no longer the case. So I do apologise, Ricky. I just no. I mean, no, I have nothing more to say on the matter. Lilo King, though, currently sat in 8th place in this session. We've got Alex Talent making his Motive debut tonight, and he's currently still not yet to put a lap on the board, but we'll keep an eye on him. Obviously, we're all watching him with keen eyes to see what he can do tonight. Smokey Devon and CMC both jumping in the session, but have not put a lap in, so these guys are going to have to do it the hard way from the back of the grid tonight. But Champ's currently his final run of the session here. As we said before, this man is the runaway championship leader and could wrap up the title with a 1 week to spare still left in the season. But Richie's definitely going to be keen to make sure that that does not happen, as Champ's got about half the laps still to go, such as the length of the lap here at Le Mans. Went a little bit wide there. I don't know if he might have got a slowdown for that. Possibly that could have been a slowdown. He might have to back out just a little bit. He's going to have to be quite strategic about how he does this, because he won't want to let off too much in order to avoid getting a lap invalidated. And he doesn't want to get his lap invalidated, because then all of his hard work in the first part of that lap will basically be a complete and utter waste of time. So he needs to keep this cool and needs to keep on it for the rest of this lap. Flat out through this right hander, which leads straight into the left, and we see him getting absolutely nailed there. Maybe lost a couple of tenths just on the entry to the second part, the left hander, but yeah, pretty tidy there from me. Most drivers couldn't go anywhere near as quick as he went through there, through this right hander. Now he's got solid pace here as Champ around Le Mans. We've seen before he's got multiple wins at this track. I can't actually name how many wins he's had around this track. It's quite a few. Every single time we race here, Champ is always a big contender on the full Le Mans circuit. I remember he had 2 wins around this track at another league called Rubbings Racing. He won the LMP1 finale, which he then won the championship at, but he also won a community race. It was a Le Mans GT multi-class race. I remember that was a 90-minute race. He absolutely ran off with that one. Nobody could touch him. So Champ does love this circuit. Let's see if he's on a good one here. He's currently, as we said earlier, got 15 seconds to find, down to the fact that he hasn't got a lap in. Needs to be careful here. Doesn't want to throw it all away in the last part. Out of the last corner he comes, and up towards the line. What can Champ put on the board here? He crosses over the line now, and he goes on pole position. So he gets pole by 1.8 seconds in the end. Champ, your man on pole for the sprint race here at Le Mans tonight. Richie in second place will join him on the front row. JM Golan X-Mart in third and fourth places, with Nicky fifth, followed by Stage GT in sixth place. Ricky seventh, Lilo King in eighth, Alex Talent in ninth. Smokey Devil will line up in P10, and 11th place will be CMC F1. obviously, guys, to the drivers who are watching this back afterwards, and to those who are listening right now, big thank you for watching here at Motive. If you do enjoy the stream, please do drop a like on the video. It helps us out an enormous amount. It helps to just tweak that algorithm a little bit, get it favourable towards Motive racing. And obviously, if you haven't already, for whatever reason, please hit that subscribe button, as that also increases our accounts, so to speak, albeit, you know, it doesn't mean a whole lot at the end of the day, but it's obviously great to have a few more numbers on the channel. But currently got 11 cars out on the track right now for this sprint race of the evening. This is, well, the first 3 rounds we had 1 race, and then from then on we had 2 races, so this would be race 18 of a 21 race season here. So we're into very much the business end of this season, and Champ and Richie lining up on the front row, the 2 championship contenders, currently showing everybody how it's done. We've just lost a driver. Somebody has accidentally pinged themselves out of the lobby. Who is it? We're just looking down the order trying to diagnose who it was that we have lost. Do you know what? I can't work it out. Who have we lost? Every time I look at the screen, I'm seeing the person who I think we've lost is still there. Ricky, we lost Ricky. Oh, what a shame, he accidentally exited the lobby there. So we're readying up here for the sprint race. Engine revs rise, and it's lights out and away we go, and it's a great start there from Richie. That's exactly the start that he needed to this race if he's to keep this championship going for another week. Champ's got heavy pressure from X-Mark, looking towards his outside, coming up towards turn 1. We've also got JM Grill in there, Stage GT. Nicky's lost out a bit at the start, down to P6, but Richie leads us into turn 1. Champ there having a look, goes a little bit late on the brakes and overshoots the corner a little bit, holds on from X-Mark though in that battle for second place. JM Grill, Stage GT, there's Nicky, Lilo King, Alex with CMC, and Smoky Devil at the back in P10. But we're all very clean through the first few corners. Looks like a very tidy first lap from these boys here at the start of this race, and Richie has got that lead over Champ. Champ currently casting the back of him though, as we see we've got somebody got a little bit wide there. That was didn't see who that was, but X-Mark there running in third place with JM Gould, Stage GT. Nicky looking pretty handy on the back of these guys as well. We can see him really pressuring the back of Stage GT, and Nicky's around the outside of Stage, coming down the Mulsanne straight down towards the first chicane. Is he going to have this done, or is Stage GT gonna have the legs to try and fight back here, coming onto towards the brakes? Let's have a look as they come down towards the corner now. It looks as though we're still side by side. Stage GT's going to try and come back in him here. He's on the inside. Can he go late on the brakes? No, tucks in behind, and X-Mark's got that. Nicky's got that done, even up into 5th place. Richie though has got Champ already bearing down on him. These two have left the rest of them for dead at the start of this race. 0.2 of a second between them at the moment, as we see Lilo King's drop down to the back of the pack behind Alex Talent. Don't know what happened there to Lilo King. But these 2 big guns here in the LMP2 league here at Motive, currently battling it out, bumper to bumper here as they come up towards the second chicane. Champ having a little look to the inside, can't get it done, tucks in behind him for the time being. But Richie definitely will be pretty happy with the way that he started this race, knows that this is really his chance to keep this championship going for a little bit longer. Maybe if he gets a miracle, he might be able to win this championship, but I'm sure that Champ's going to not let that happen. But JM Grill in the background there has got X-Mark pretty close behind him as well. X-Mark's in the sandwich between JM Grill and Nicky. Nicky's closed really quickly up onto the back of these 2 as well, so Nicky definitely not out of the battle for a podium spot. He's very much in that battle. Stage GT and CMC not too far off of these guys. CMC's battling out with Smoky Devil at the moment in 7th and 8th places. You got Lilo King there running in 9th place, and Alex Talent at the back in P10 in this race. But Champ is now all over the back of Richie here. Look at this, right in that slipstream. He's going to have a little look to the inside. No, Richie eventuality off, and there's nowhere for Champ to wriggle around him at the moment as we're coming in towards the braking zone. Champ having a little look to the inside there. You can't really make the move there, as you've got to quickly get the car, you've got to change the direction as you're in the braking zone there, so it's not an easy corner to drive, let alone make an overtaking. And Champ in the end tucks in behind him for the time being. 0.3 of a second separating these 2 top guns here in this LMP2s. We've got JM Graw and Nicky currently separated by not much. Nicky's got ahead of Stage GT, obviously we saw that before, but X-Mark's lost the position, and Nicky getting a beautiful exit there out of that corner, getting himself up into P3. JM Graw flashed the lights. I think he's pretty impressed with that move there, as we see now X-Mark falling back into the clutch of the Smoky Devil. X-Mark's had a mare there coming through the middle sector, as in the background of this we've still got the these two battling it out, and they've got CMC not too far behind there in 8th place. Xmart does weather the storm ahead of Smoky Devil for the time being. Champ still hassling the back of Richie. Still can't get the move done here on the race lead at the moment. Coming down towards the final 2 chicanes to complete the first lap. Richie leads ahead of Champ, having got the jump off of the line. Richie doing his absolute best here to keep this championship going for as long as he can. Nicky there running in 3rd place, has got 0.6 of a second back to JM Grill at the moment. You've got Stage GT there running in 5th place, who's got Xmart now all over the back of him. Xmart trying to recover time after he lost a bit of time when they're coming through the middle sector on this opening lap of the race, trying to get the cut back here on Stage GT if he can. Can he get the run out of the final corner? Stage GT gets a nice exit. Xmart's not going to get him down there. He got a horrible run there as he got onto the power out of the last corner. Richie still ahead of Champ. These two, nothing at all separating them, but Champ cannot seem to find a way through at the moment. Richie doing everything he can to try and take this LMP2 title. He's the unawaited leader. Oh, Champ very aggressive there. Oh, they've come together. Oh my goodness me. The two championship contenders have made contact, and Champ comes way off worse than Richie does, as Champ there is now dropped well off at the back of him. There was big contact there between the two of them. It all started from an aggressive move from Champ as he went down the inside and then just tagged the curb a little bit, unsettled the car ever so slightly. They then made contact out of the next right-hander coming out of that left-hander where Champ made the aggressive move, and Richie now has got quite a decisive lead here in this race. Has Champ got damage? If he has, he could be vulnerable to Nicky, JM Grill and Xmart behind. Oh no, we've just heard a team radio there from Champ saying he's got 26% suspension damage. Oh, and that is just proof in the pudding there. He's lost it there coming out of the first chicane. Nicky there up into 2nd place. JM Grill moves himself up into 3rd. Stage GT and Xmart will be waiting to knock Champ while he's down at this point in the race, but Richie leading by almost 6 seconds. And I wonder if there might I don't know if there'll be any inquiries into that one, but to me it looked like a bit of a 50-50 between the two of them upon first sight. But JM Grill's got Champ now pulling up back onto the rear of him once again. Champ definitely looks like he's not out of this race yet. He's still got good pace. We can see he's still putting the laps down. Now the question is, does Richie have damage? If Richie has damage as well, then that could potentially derail his chances of winning this race. I think that gap has come down a little bit to Nicky over the course of this lap, and I think he has got damage, you know. Richie is limping around. He looked like he got a very sketchy run coming out of that right-hander at the end of the straight, Mustang corner that's called. Richie there has got just under 6 seconds at the moment to Nicky. Champ's got ahead of JM Grill up into 3rd place, so now he can try and chase down Nicky up ahead of him. But the big question now is, does Richie have damage? If he does, then Champ might be able to come back at him over the course of the rest of this sprint race. But it's currently advantage Richie here in this championship battle. Obviously not on the grand scheme of things, you know, in terms of the actual championship itself. He's got a 57-point lead to overcome over 4 races. I don't think it's going to be possible. Oh, as he gets a slide there though, and I think it's pretty much safe to say that Richie does have damage at this point, because he is losing hand over fist to not just Nicky but Champ as well. I wonder if Richie's got worse damage than Champ. But in the meantime, Alex Tallant's got himself ahead of Smoky Devil. Smoky Devil's dropped off of that battle a little bit, down in 9th place. He's had an absolute nightmare. He's coming to the pits, I think, impromptually, as has Lilo King. No mandatory pit stop in the sprint race, so it really does kill your race if you do end up having to come in and incur some damage repairs. It pretty much messes the whole situation up for you in every way possible. But we've got Richie still leading the moment by just over 5 seconds to Nicky. We've lost the driver from the race. Lilo King's retired here on lap 2, so obviously it's a long lap around Le Mans, so he's obviously throwing in the towel here relatively early on. Hopefully he'll join us for the feature race though coming up after this. That'll be a little bit longer. It'll be a 6-lap race with a mandatory pit stop, that one will. But Nicky there running in 2nd place, still keeping Champ behind him. Champ's going to try and get the cut back out of the last corner, but Nicky gets a beautiful exit there and leaves him for dead coming out onto the start finish straight, and Champ with no reply there. Richie's kind of just pulled it back together again over the course of the last part of this lap, but Nicky was the quickest man last time round. He was 2 seconds quicker than Richie. He was quicker than Champ, obviously, with Champ having that big moment with Richie. But I don't know, with Richie and Champ incurring damage, maybe Nicky really senses an opportunity here. Potentially Nicky could sense a possible win here in these LMP2s, and I don't believe Nicky, see, I've had this moment before. I've got a little bit of deja vu here. You know, when you just like, you think of a situation where you think, oh, I've been here before, I've seen this before. I remember like having this conversation with somebody one time when Nicky was in a similar position. I remember saying, I don't think he's won a race. I know he's had multiple podiums, but I think he might have won a race in Formula Renault, and that might have been why the topic came up. I'm just trying to remember how the topic came up in the first place, because I remember we've had this topic before, but I can't remember if Nicky's won a race here at Motive. But the moment he's keeping the gap about 6 seconds. Richie has kind of stopped the rot though, and has now got himself back together again. Champ with heavy damage is on the back of Nicky, but Champ's a ticking time bomb with that car. That could give way at any second with the amount of damage. 26 suspension damage. That's not going to be easy to keep a hold of. Yeah, it's Champ on the team radio there saying he's having to be very conscious of everything that's going on. He's not able to drive the car naturally or anything. He's having to constantly correct it and make adjustments in the cockpit, which, as any racing driver will know, is not what you want to be doing when you're driving. You want to be able to just focus on the driving and not have to worry about anything. But we see Champ there getting a good run out of the second chicane, and Nicky there didn't make it too difficult for him. Wonder if he let him go there. Looked like he might have let off a little bit out of the corner, but Champ now up into second place as a result. Richie though still leads the race. The gap's 8 seconds at the moment between Richie and Champ. Both of these two have got damage, but we're not sure what the nature of Richie's damage is. We know that Champ has got 26 suspension damage and a little bit of rear as well, so it's definitely not the situation that Champ would have ideally envisaged when he went to bed last night, thinking about how he was going to take this LMP2 crown with a round to spare. But nonetheless, we've got just over a lap left to go here at Le Mans for the sprint race. The beach race will be coming up after this as well. Got a couple of comments coming on the YouTube stream here. We got Leon Blanc says hello, welcome along Leon, good to welcome you along to the Motive channel. Never seen you in the comments, but good to see you. We've got Sebas Navas there, that's Sebas2112 in the Discord server, regular racer in his LMP2s, and was unable to make it tonight, couldn't make it last week either, but good to see him showing up here on the stream. Hey Gustana, hey drivers, put in Spanish in my keyboard. Yeah, obviously Sebas is a Spaniard, so makes sense that autocorrect did correct his English typing there in the comment section. We got Shifting Gears says, come on Nicky. Nicky currently running in a podium spot at the moment. Shifting Gears, he's doing a good job. X-Mark's got himself into 4th place. JM Gruhl there dropping back into the clutches as CMC ever so slightly as we're coming towards the business end of the race. So Richie and Champ came together in the early stages of the race, and they've both got a bit of damage on the cars. Are they going to be able to get it around cleanly for this final lap? We know that Champ's been saying to us on team radio that he's got some pretty hefty damage. As we see there, you can actually see Richie in the distance now, so he's started to make a few gains over the course of this lap, but I think he might be too little too late. Keep an eye on the lap times here as they're coming over the line to start the final lap. Richie was 3 seconds quicker than Champ, so obviously Champ did spend half of that lap behind Nicky though, so that will be a factor in why Richie was quicker on the previous lap. But I reckon Richie's got enough of a buffer now to bring this one home. I can't see Champ overhauling this with just 1 lap left to go here at Le Mans. You got Nicky there running in a final podium spot. A really great job here from Nicky. X-Mark there running in 4th, a further 4 seconds behind Nicky. You got JM Gruhl there in 5th. He's coming up towards turn 1 at the moment. CMC in the background trying to creep into this battle with JM Gruhl, but JM Gruhl was a little bit quicker on the previous lap, so that will obviously serve well for JM Gruhl in that little scrap there. Stage GT running in P7 ahead of Alex Talent running in 8th, and Smokey Devil rounding out the field in 9th place. We obviously lost Lilo King early on, as well as Ricky P. Both of those two retiring from the session. Ricky P didn't even start the race. But at the moment, Richie leads the race and he's pulling out the gap to Champ. Champ with heavy damage. I think he's got a bit more damage than Richie has, and that's allowing Richie to pull out the gap to him. But it looks very much like Richie's going to close the gap a little bit in the championship. The gap's still going to be pretty much unassailable. But I got to say, it'd be a definite confidence boost for Richie if he can stay where he is at this point. Sebas Navas says, I know the gap between the top two. I don't know the rest. I've just calculated it very quickly before we started. I've got a pen and paper out. I've just jotted it all down and worked it out. The gap between the championship contenders, Champ is leading the championship ahead of Richie. It's 50 points coming into this as it stands. Coming away from here, it would be 51 points because Richie's got the fastest lap plus the lead. so they got to come down by a little bit, and potentially we could be seeing the championship roll over to a decider next week. But Richie here coming through the final few corners of the sprint race, and he's done everything he needed to do, to be fair to him. You know, can't knock him for the job that he's done so far tonight. Got a perfect start off of the line and was able to put the pressure on Champ straight away. Champ threw the kitchen sink at him over the course of the rest of the first lap and the beginning of the second lap. Was all over him and looked to have made a move, a very late move. It was a bit of a lunge down the inside of Richie, and in the end they both made contact on the exit of the corner. To me it looked like a bit of a racing incident. That was my initial impression. Maybe the onboards could tell a different story, but to me I would say it was nothing doing in that instance. But Richie currently got an 18-second lead over Champ at the moment. Champ's picked up a penalty, not a whole lot of difference to the results, but here comes Richie in towards the final few corners of the lap. Richie standing on the verge of becoming the GTE champion here at Motive as well. He's more than likely going to wrap that up tomorrow night at Sugo, but here he comes in towards the final two chicanes. He's got an extremely long shot of winning this LMP2s. Champ's pretty much got it in the bag, but Richie's going to keep it going for as long as he possibly can. Out of the final corner and out to the start finish straight. Richie 95 takes the checkered flag and is your winner for the sprint race here at Le Mans. A little flash of lights there, nothing too major, no theatrics, just a little on and off switch there on those little LEDs there on that car. But Champ's coming in towards the final few corners now. Goes a little bit wide there for the penultimate chicane and cuts the inside of the last one just to boot a little bit, and up towards the line he comes. So Richie first, Champ second, first blood to Richie tonight. Nicky is going to come around the final corner. It's going to be a podium finish here for Nicky as the Team Prolux boys. Bit of a formation finish as they come over the line, and Nicky there slowing it right down as he finishes the race. A flash of the lights there from Xmart. P3 for Nicky, P4 for Xmart. JM Gruhl is going to come over to take a 5th place here in this race. A flash of the lights there from him. CMC comes over in P6, followed by Stage GT, who's going to come around the final couple of corners here, and it's going to be a 7th place finish here for Stage GT. Not a bad result for him. I'm sure he'll get a little bit of experience in from this sprint race, and will improve a little bit coming into the feature. Up towards, oh no, he's lost it coming out of the last corner there. Stage GT all over the gaff as he is now reversing over the line. Brilliant stuff there. So Stage GT finishes the race in P7. Alex is going to come around here, and he's just got the final two chicanes left to go, and it's going to be an 8th place finish here for Alex Talent on his Motive Racing debut. Great to see him out on the track, and I'm sure that this initial taster will only ignite his excitement for racing here in his LMP2. I'm looking forward to seeing what he can get up to in the feature race as he comes up towards the line, and he finishes the race there in 8th place. Smoky Devil is going to come into the final two chicanes now, and he's going to finish this one in 9th place. Well done to Smokey for keeping going and keeping pushing all the way to the flag. Hopefully the feature race will be a little bit more exciting for you, mate. But that's that then for the sprint race here. We're going to have a feature race coming up after this, a mandatory pit stop, 10-minute qualifying session to proceed. Don't go anywhere, guys. If you are watching this live, then please drop a like on the video. If you're one of the drivers watching this back, hopefully you've enjoyed watching this back, and stay tuned for the next part of the story. Here we are then, ladies and gentlemen. We are moments away from the start of the feature race of the evening, the second race of the night, and this one pretty eventful night so far. We saw the two main championship protagonists, Champ and Richie, having a collision. Here we are then, ended up with Richie having quite a commanding lead, which he then turned into a win, but Champ looking very strong in the second qualifying session. The two championship contenders once again occupying the front row of the grid. As here we are then, the engine revs rise as we are about to go racing here at Le Mans. Can Richie keep it going for another week, or is Champ going to wrap it up here in this feature race? It's lights out, away we go, and it's a great start from Richie. He gets the jump straight away, just like he did in the sprint race. Champ tucks in and is going to try and hold off the charge from JM Good and Stage GT. Stage GT's going to run. Oh no! Stage GT and JM Good come together there on the run up towards turn 1 with 3 wide in the background there as Nicky squeezes through ahead of CMC and Smokey Devil. Lilo King getting ahead of Smokey as Smokey crawls over the gravel there, and Smokey loses out to CMC and Lilo King. Fabio in the background there is on the back of Smokey Devil. JM Good and Stage GT completing the classification. X-Mart's up into 3rd place. Great start from X-Mart, and Richie has a slender lead over Champ at the moment. These two coming through the corner where they came together in the first race. They're currently 1 and 2 at the minute. No dramas so far, but it's Richie and Champ from X-Mart, then Nicky, then CMC, Lilo King in 6th place, then Smokey Devil, JM Gruhl, Fabio in 9th, and Stage GT rounding out the field in P10 at the moment. But Richie currently leading us up towards the chicane for the first time. Champ's got a great run here coming up towards the corner though. He's going to get that toe. He's going to try and use that to his advantage, but it looks like Richie's got to lower downforce setup, which is kind of just preventing Champ from being able to utilise that toe fully to his advantage. He's having a little look to the inside. Can he use that extra downforce and go later on the brakes and maybe throw one down the inside? No, he can't. Not for now. Richie holding on, but Richie deep into the second part of the corner. That could maybe give him an opportunity. Nope. Once again, Richie has got it dialed there, coming out of the chicane, and he holds on to that lead. So Richie ahead of Champ, ahead of X-Mart, ahead of Nicky, ahead of CMC, who's got ahead of himself, ahead of Lilo King, up into 5th place. JM Gruhl there running in 7th place, ahead of Smokey Devil. Stage GT has got ahead of Fabio up into 9th place. Fabio's trying to come back at him on the exit of the first chicane, but Richie and Champ absolutely tied at the hip at the moment coming into the second chicane. Champ looking down the inside. He's going to go for a late move here, and Richie's going to try and hold it around the outside once again there. Richie closing the door. Champ's learned his lesson from the first race, knows that he doesn't want to go for any rash or late manoeuvres there and risk it all here in the early stages of this feature race. A 6-lap race, and it's a mandatory pit stop in this one, so plenty more room for error and for dramas over the course of this one. X-Mart there in the background running in 3rd place. Has got about a second back to Nicky in 4th. Then you've got CMC, JM Gruhl, Stage GT, Smokey Devil, Fabio. We've lost the driver from the race, and that is Lilo King again. So he's retired from the race there on lap 1. Richie though leading the race by just under half a second ahead of Champ. These two pretty much nose to tail. Champ looking for any way possible that he can get himself up into the lead of the race, but it's been very much nip and tuck between these boys. Richie obviously got the jump off of the line, managed to get himself into P1. Champ's not let up since then though. X-Mart in the background there with Nicky in close contention, just about a second separating those two Team Prolapse teammates there in this battle for the final podium spot. They've gapped CMC a little bit over the course of this lap, but CMC I wouldn't say is out of that battle for 3rd place. He could still be a bit of a contender in that fight. We've got JM Gruhl in 6th, a little way off at the back of those 3. Then Stage GT, Smokey and Fabio batting it out over the minor racings. Oh no! Oh, Smokey loses it there and runs into Fabio. Fabio's not going to be too happy with that one. Bit of an incident there as Smokey got onto the power. Fabio continues on his way. It doesn't look like he's got too much damage, but Smokey Devil having an absolute horror show there. In the meantime, let's go back to the lead because we got Richie still holding on, but Champ looking around the outside onto the grass a bit there, crawling over that curb, and that just prevented him a little bit from being able to really put that pressure on Richie in towards the final sector of the lap here. They got the double chicane to come here in this at the end of this first lap. Obviously the mandatory pit window is any time, so you can come in and make your pit stop at any point throughout the race. There's no limits on when you can do that. Champ looking down the inside, and Richie lets him go. That was too easy there from Richie. Just waved Champ by and into the lead Champ goes. Wow. Was not expecting that. But Champ now leads the race ahead of Richie at the end of lap 1. We've got X-Mart there running in the final podium spot ahead of Nicky. He's 3 seconds clear of Nicky, running in 4th place. There's CMC in P5, followed by JM Gruhl, who's crossing over the line there to start lap 2 in 6th place. Stage GT a long way behind, has got Fabio just behind him in tow, and Smokey Devil right now running in 9th place. Has not been the race that Smokey Devil would have wanted, desired or hoped for in any way, shape or form. Champ though leading ahead of Richie at the moment. These two pretty close out the front. X-Mart running in 3rd place, just under 4 seconds off for the race race leader Champ. You got Nicky there in 4th place. CMC further 3 seconds back in 5th place. Scott JM Grill in hot pursuit here as they're coming through the S section here in the first sector. It was lap 2 in this part of the lap where Champ and Richie came together on the previous lap. This time around, Champ's now got a healthy lead over Richie, and all things being well for Champ, he should be able to stamp home this advantage and take home the win. If it stays as it is right now, he would extend his championship gap to 57 points, which is what it was at the start of tonight. So it would be pretty much like just keeping it as it is. If no points gained by Richie would be a good night for Champ, and he'd stand very much on the verge of taking the LMP2 title the next time of asking. But anything can happen. It's still very, very early doors yet. We've got CMC is currently pretty close to the back of JM Grill right now. He's in the slipstream here as they're coming down the second part of the long straight out of the second chicane down towards Mulsanne. Is he going to be close enough to make anything happen here? It looks like he might be a little bit too far back at the moment. As they're coming in towards the second chicane now, CMC having a little look, but yeah, tucks in for the time being. No dice there. Champ's already pulled out a 1.7 second gap to Richie at the moment. Looks like Champ's really on form tonight. He's absolutely killing it here in this feature race, looking to try and make up for that disaster that he had in the sprint race. As we see Stage GT and Smoky Devil both in the pits at the end of their first laps. Took them an age to get around that first lap. Looked like they had some pretty serious damage on those cars. But we've got CMC currently on the back of JM Grill right now as they're coming up towards the end of the straight. At the moment, CMC taking a very wide line through there. Definitely would have got a track limits warning for that, but he's trying to get the run here, trying to get the switch back on JM Grill if he can. That was a major hiccup there, but at the moment we've got CMC in the slipstream of JM Grill. Can he get anything done here? That was another one because I didn't deal with the first one properly. But CMC currently pretty close on the back here, having a little feint to the inside, trying to distract JM Grill with the mirrors if he can, trying to put him under a little bit of pressure, trying to make him start questioning himself and thinking twice about what he's doing. As we see there, JM Grill just hobbling over the curb a little bit, coming through that part of the track. We've got a retirement from the race. We've lost Fabio. Fabio's retired here midway through lap 2. What a shame there. Obviously Fabio had to undergo some major damage repairs in the early stages, which kind of just tailed his chances of having any say in this race, which is obviously a massive shame there for him. But we've got CMC still on the back of JM Grill at the moment. Champ's gapped Richie by a little bit, 3.6 separating the top two at this point in this still relatively early stages of the race, still into the first third. We've had a couple of drivers coming for the mandatory pit stops over the course of this race so far. Stage GT and Smoky Devil have both been in and undergone pit stops. And Champ, horrible run there through the final part of the lap there from Champ, and that will give Richie a bit of impetus there. Champ got all sorts of out of shape coming through that last part of the lap there, and we didn't really get to see how much Richie gained there because Richie came into the pits as it was happening. So we'll find out once Champ comes into the pits as to whether or not that cost him quite a serious amount of time there, because you know, he could have really lost a bit of time there in that instance. Hopefully he hasn't. You know, hopefully he gets away with that one, but nonetheless he's only got 8 seconds of a gap at the moment to Xmart. Xmart's got a further 3.5 seconds back to Nicky at the moment. JM Grill there's 15 seconds off in the lead. He's currently 3 seconds off of a podium spot in the shape of Nicky, but once Richie is obviously emerges, once these guys have made their mandatory pit stops, we expect that Richie will regain that podium place and might even be in the lead of the race after Champ's mistake coming to the final corner. But Xmark keeping himself in there, Nicky not no slouch in his LMP2s either, and I'm sure that those guys are going to have a pretty prominent position in the championship. I reckon that Nicky probably could be on for a bronze medal in this series. You know, I don't know, I haven't done the championship standings for a couple of weeks. I need to get that done before the final round of the season. But I reckon that Nicky could very much be on for a P3 in the championship, which would obviously be great for Team Pileups. You know, they're a great bunch of guys, and they are good presence to have around the Discord as well. And Nicky's obviously got you know, quite a few guys in that group. Ben Parkey sometimes races with us. Civic raced in the touring cars last night, raced in the LMP2s last week as well. Big shout out to all those guys. BT Tiger, obviously a former champion of the GT3s here at Motive as well, and X-Part, former champion of the touring cars, raced in the touring cars last night at Brands Hatch as well. He's currently closing the gap to Champ as well as X-Mart. He's really gained over the course of this lap. He's starting to get the hammer down ever so slightly, but Champ's got some formidable pace around this track. It would take some doing, especially from 8 seconds back, to draw level with Champ and put pressure on him for this win. Richie currently 24 seconds off of the race lead, having been in for his pit stop. We know that Champ made that big mistake coming through the final part of the lap on the previous lap, and I just hope and pray that doesn't cost him here in this one, you know, because obviously it was just a little lapse of concentration, you know, a minor indiscretion, and unfortunately, you know, that's the way things go sometimes. But he's had some extreme pace around this track, and you know, I just hope that doesn't cost him in this race. But you know, Richie would be deserving of the win as well, so you know, in a way it kind of balances itself out. I just hope that it's a good, exciting race between this pair. Who knows, they might come out pretty much together. Once Champ comes in for his pit stop, we'll have to wait and see how that one pans out. But at the moment, Champ's got just under 10 seconds of a lead over X-Mart. X-Mart's got a further 4 seconds back to Nicky, running in third place. JM got a further 5 seconds off at the back of Nicky, running in fourth. Has got about 8 seconds back to Richie, who's, as we said before, has already been to the pits to make his mandatory pit stop. So he's got that done and out of the way. And he doesn't have to worry, he doesn't have to stress, he doesn't have to get sleepless nights and worry himself sick about it, because he's got it done and out of the way. So, you know, clean slate, all good, all's well that ends well. But Champ at the moment leading this race by just about 11 seconds over X-Mart at this point, and Nicky keeping the gap at around 4 or 5 seconds to X-Mart at this point. Champ though has obviously got a penalty, but I don't think it's going to be enough of a penalty to drop him down the order in any way, shape or form, as he's coming down towards the end of lap 3 here, about halfway in this race. Is he going to come in and make his mandatory pit stop at the end of this lap? Let's wait and see. Yes, he does. No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. Last minute switcheroo there from Champ. Thought about it, then thought again, and out he stays for the time being, as X-Mart there is running in second place, about 10 seconds off at the back of Champ. You've got Nicky there running in third place, about 4 or 5 seconds behind X-Mart at this particular point in the race. You've got Nicky coming into the pits now midway through the race, and very nice to see him there following the exact trajectory required by the pit lane, so keeping it very much within the rules and regulations and track limits, as is JM Gruhl, to be fair. And that's exactly what you want to see, where you want to see everybody falling in line and adhering to the rules and regulations and the standards set by the FIA and by motorsport governing bodies alike. So great job from those guys. Champ in the meantime still leads the race by just about 12 seconds ahead of X-Mart, so Champ's currently doing the business and looking to try and extend his championship gap over Richie, but Richie could potentially have the lead of the race once Champ comes in. It's going to be very close between these two once all is said and done. And let's figure out what's to come. We've got Nicky and JM Gruhl and CMC all in the pits at the moment. Let's see what they do in their pit stops. We've got Nicky off and on his way once again on the exit of the pit lane. JM Gruhl following suit there. You see him just coming out of the pit lane now. There is CMC just coming also in. He's still sat in the pit box at this particular point, so he hasn't been released just yet, and looks like he's being held in there for quite a long time, to be fair. It looks like his pit crew are really messing him about a little bit, so yeah, he's definitely going to be probably regretting not coming in earlier on. But look at that. I mean, that's a pretty lengthy pit stop there for CMC. In the meantime, Champ leads the race by 15 seconds ahead of X-Mart. X-Mart's dropping off consistently off the back of the Champ at the moment. Richie's obviously now in third place, with Nicky having been in and made his mandatory pit stop. I'm expecting that X-Mart will probably come out ahead of Nicky. Nicky did have quite a long stop there, so that will obviously cost him a bit of time once we get to the end of the race. We've got CMC still in the pits, and he's still in the pit box. Oh no, what is going on there with CMC? That he's finally gone. So obviously some major damage repairs there for CMC. He's off and on his way once again, but that could not have gone much worse there for CMC, as he is now off and on his way and released back into the track again. But it's Champ leading the way and looking to try and get the overcut on Richie. The gap 28 seconds. It was about 25 seconds immediately in the aftermath of Richie having made his pit stop. So it's looking very much like Champ could be on for a win here. He's got that gap, he's got the ascendancy, he's got the pace, and he's taken both pole positions tonight, and was unlucky not to take the first win, down to having major damage due to a collision with Richie. So Champ looking like he's trying to make amends and very much bounce back from that disappointment of the first race, and he'll bring that gap back up a little bit to Richie. But if Richie comes home in second place, then the championship will roll over to the final round of the season, as Richie there coming through the final part of the lap at the moment. Champ is coming through the final part of the lap. Does he pit this time around? Does he bring it into the pits at the fourth time of asking, or does he extend it a little bit? Does he keep it going and try and outrun the pit stop window here? As here he comes in towards the final few corners of the 4th lap of this feature race here at Motive for the LMP2s and Project Cars 2 on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. I didn't fall for that one, champ. I didn't believe for a second you were coming in there. He stays out for one more lap. That's a very, very deceiving line there from you, champ, to be fair. I'm surprised you're not getting a track limits warning for that one. Very much using the gamesmanship there, champ, a man who... I don't know, it looked like four off the track to me, but hey, maybe maybe I'm just a bit, maybe I'm getting old, maybe that's why I couldn't keep track of what was going on in front of me. But we've got Xmart running in 2nd place still. He's got 8 seconds back to Richie. Obviously Xmart does need to come in and get a pit stop done before we get to the end of this. Right, yeah, he still does. Yeah, I am right. I'm not talking rubbish. Xmart still needs to come in. Obviously he will come out probably a little way ahead of Nicky once he does. Richie's already beaten the gap between Champ and Richie, 29 seconds, so that will be the battle that we're all going to be watching out for on the final lap of the race. Obviously we're on the penultimate lap here at Le Mans, and Champ and Xmart, the top two, still had to come in. If you're just joining us here on the Motive channel, big warm welcome. Drop a like on the video if you haven't already, subscribe, and we're about to see who's going to be the winner of this feature race. It's really between Champ and Richie. A pit stop at Le Mans around 27-28 seconds. The gap between Champ and Richie about 30 seconds, but if Champ has a slow stop, if he gets held in the box for a little bit longer than maybe he would have ideally envisaged, then you could potentially be seeing a Richie victory here in this feature race. And if Richie does do that, it would be the double for tonight, as he did win the sprint race earlier on in controversial circumstances with that little tangle that he had with Champ coming through the first few corners on lap 2 of the sprint race. But at the moment Champ very much looking like he's got this one, just needs to keep it calm and stay composed for the remainder of this race. Lap and a quarter left to go here at Le Mans for the LMP2s here at Motive. Round 10 of 11, race 19 of 21. We'll have 2 more races for the final round, which will be at let's just have a little look. Haven't we already raced there this season? Are you sure? Oh yeah, it's Daytona. Yeah, you're right. At Daytona Road Course. Ooh, hey. Well, that's going to be an exciting one. It's on the anniversary of the Splash and Dash as well. That was a bit of a controversial night. That one. Well, actually, it's not on the anniversary. It's 1 day short.
Is it actually on the anniversary?
Well, it's 1 day short. Same weekend, Saturday. 1 day short. Yeah, that was a very controversial night. About, well, 51 weeks ago, just shy of a year ago, that night, Splash and Dash, Champ and Ben Parker had their little scuffle towards the end of the race. But enough said of that. What's said and done is in the past, and ultimately, let's move on, put that behind us. You know, I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be a little bitch ass about that. I'm not going to cry and whinge and complain that he technically got 100 quid off of us, because, you know, that's life, isn't it? But at the moment, Champ, he's got 25 seconds of a gap right now over Xmart. It's coming through the final few corners of the lap. About to come in and make his pit stop here towards the end of this feature race. Let's see as he slows it down, and into the pit lane he comes, as he just cuts the inside of that pit entry a little bit. Oh, it might have just been because he kicked up a bit of the grass there, but he's on his way into the pits as a result anyway. Xmart currently running in 2nd place. Has got to come into the pits and make a pit stop as well in the next few moments, and it's going to be very interesting now to see where Richie is in comparison to Champ. Does Champ get a quick pit stop? Looks to me to be pretty good. I actually jumped on him as he was in the pit box, so I don't know how long he was in the pit box for. Oh, bog standard pit stop there from Champ, letting us know on the team radio there. It was a 5.6 second stop, and Richie is pretty close. This is going to be tight. Champ's not off the limiter yet. He's just off the limiter now. Where is Richie? This is going to be very tight. Oh, here comes Richie. Champ's just about going to hold on. He's going to have cold tyres for the next few corners though, and Richie is right on him here. Wow, we couldn't have asked for a more exciting final lap of this race here for the feature race. Champ on the verge of extending his championship gap to quite a big margin here in this LMP2 league here at Motive. If he wins this race, it will be a 57-point lead going into the final round of the season at Daytona. 1.5 now the gap. He's already pulled out a little bit to Richie since Richie came out just behind him there. Champ obviously left it to the last minute to get that pit stop done, and looks like he's going to get the reward. He's going to be able to take the win here in this feature race. What a result it will be for Champ if he's able to stamp home this advantage and stand on the top step here at Le Mans, and it will be definitely a little bit of a recovery after the first race, where it obviously all went horribly wrong due to that collision with Richie on the second lap of the race. He's just got a little bit of this race left to go now as Champ, and he will be the race winner for the feature race. Richie's currently got 2 seconds to overhaul. I don't know if he's got anything left in the tank to throw at him. If he has, he's got to do it now. It's now or never time for Richie, but I don't think he's going to have an answer to Champ. Champ's simply got too much of a gap now. Champ's been the fastest driver out on track tonight. He's been the one who they've all been trying to come for over the course of this one. He's had the advantage over just about every other driver on track, and I think it's going to be his night here. As you see there, every time they come out of the corners, every time they come through the chicanes, the gap's going up a bit. Richie's got the speed down the straights, but then through the corners, Champ is absolutely nailed to the track, and Richie's got no answer for him through the faster corners or the medium to high speed corners as they're coming now towards the end of the straight. Literally half a lap left to go here in this race. Champ keeping 2 wheels within the white lines there, although it wasn't there, to be fair. He was on the entry but not on the exit. Richie a bit wide on the exit though, and Champ able to pull away ever so slightly coming through this part of the track. Champ's got 5 litres of fuel and he's got enough to make it to the end. Richie's got 7, he's got more than enough. X-Mart's got 16 litres, he's definitely fueled for the trip home as well. We've got Nicky there who's got 12 litres of fuel in the tank. JM Grewal's got enough, 8 litres in the tank. Stage GT can probably get back to wherever he comes from with that one. And Smoky Devil, oh, Smokey's out of fuel. Oh my goodness, you couldn't write it. Smoky Devil has run out of fuel here on the final lap of the race. He's parked up by the side of the track, and that is such a shame there obviously for him, as Champ is leading here ahead of Richie at the moment. 2.5 seconds separating the 2 championship contenders. Champ lost a few points to Richie. We see the stricken Smoky Devil there parked by the side of the track. Champ making his way through, Richie following him through there in second place. The gap pretty close between these two. They've been pretty evenly matched here at Le Mans, but Champ has just had that little bit of an edge over Richie over the course of this evening. Champ always takes a win or two here at Le Mans. This time it's only one of the 2 races he's going to stand on the top step in, but nonetheless a fantastic performance here from Champ tonight. The gap, as I said before, is going to be 57 points going into the final round of the season at Daytona Road Course for these LMP2s here at Motive on Project Cars 2 on the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Literally this left right and then a start finish to go. Champ is coming up towards the line. He takes the checkered flag here for round 10 feature race here at Le Mans. It's the victory for Champ as he flies off into the sky and lands on all 4s. Fantastic stuff there. You couldn't have asked for a more exciting end to that race. Champ takes the win ahead of Richie in second place. Left us guessing all the way to the last lap. In the end it was pretty close between the two of them, only 3 seconds separating them over the line. X-Mart is going to be best of the rest here tonight as he's coming in towards the final few corners of this race. 3rd place for X-Mart. Team Product's going to be pretty happy with that podium finish here for our former touring car champion. A flash of the lights from X-Mart as he comes up towards the line and slows it right down there as he finishes the race. 3rd place for X-Mart. Nicky's going to come over to take a P4 here in this one. A flash of the lights from Nicky. Good spirits as always. JM Grewal, 5th place there for him. Stage GT will finish a long way behind here in 6th place as he's done a good job sticking with it. He hasn't got fed up or thrown in the towel. He's kept on going and ultimately will get a P6 as a result here in this race. Smoky Devil obviously retired from the race due to running out of fuel a little way from the end, but Stage GT got a few corners left to go. I have to wrap this up and I'm going to have to shoot off now because I've got to go and pick up the keys from my work, so unfortunately for the morning. So thank you everybody for watching. Hopefully the drivers enjoyed watching this back. I'm literally going to have to ping out of the lobby right now because I've got to race up there and get there before 10:05. So I will see you all in the next one.